California recently issued a cap on non-classroom-based charter schools. So under this moratorium, no new charter schools can be established until January of 2022. Joining me now to talk more about this cap and how it limits educational options for California parents is State Senator Melendez. Senator, good to talk with you tonight.
Ginger, good to be on with you because this has certainly been on a lot of parents' minds given what we've gone through the last 18 months during this pandemic and, the online learning. And I think parents have discovered that perhaps their child's school isn't as great as they thought it was, and they're looking for other options.
Yeah, and these charter schools, I mean, they have so many options as far as you can really tailor an education, not just to what your personal preferences are, but it's also your lifestyle. My son was in a charter school when he was traveling around with a hockey team. Thankfully, he's graduated, so I don't have to deal with this anymore. But I certainly saw this discussion about this cap quite a bit. So can you explain for our viewers what exactly is happening for these charter schools?
Well, so in the last 8 years, the legislature has introduced just a little over 3,500 bills relating to charter schools in the last 8 years. So if people think that there isn't a full-on assault on charter schools, they are not paying attention. And we've seen bills, everything from putting a cap on how many charter schools can be allowed in the state, to restricting where they can operate, to saying you can't open a charter school, out of the district boundaries, to who can say whether a charter can open or not. I mean, it's a constant roadblock that is put up for parents. And bear in mind, there's 675,000 students in California who attend charter schools, and there's only 1,300 charter schools in the entire state. So the need is there. It is time that the state stop requiring that students stay in these failing schools. Not every public school, obviously, is a failing school, but many are. I mean, we've got a school in Oakland, a high school, 99% of the student body there does not read, write, or do math at grade level.
Wow.
That is criminal, and that's not every public school. But my personal feeling is, look, when somebody hits hard economic times, they get assistance from the government, right? So they get that assistance to be able to buy food, to feed their families. And the government doesn't say, you can only shop at this store, you can only shop at that store, you can only, buy this type of milk or that type of cereal. They leave it up to the discretion of the recipient. Why can't we do the same thing with education and create these education savings accounts where the parents choose? They say, here's the money I have for education. Here's where I think it's best for my child to go to school, whether that's the public school in their neighborhood, a private school, a charter school, whatever it is, the parents ought to be able to choose, because you don't get to do your child's education over. And I'm tired of seeing kids flounder in these schools that are failing them. It's not fair to these kids.
It does definitely seem like there is a war on schools as far as parents' options for schools, because these charter schools are in high demand and a lot of people like them because it's diverse. You don't necessarily have to take the, let's say, critical race theory that's going to be taught in a regular public school, but charter schools are still public, so they're funded publicly. Mm-hmm. And yet it seems like they're really trying to take that option away from parents.
Yeah, I mean, really, we should be funding students, not systems. And that's what we're doing right now. We are funding this system that keeps kids in these schools that are failing. They did a poll recently, and they found that nationwide, not just California, but nationwide, the approval rating for parents being able to choose which school their kids go to went from like 64% to 78%. That is huge. That means there is a lot of parents, and it's not, a political standoff. There's a lot of parents out there who think, I need to be able to choose what's best for my kid. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of special needs kids who do very well when their parents are able to choose which school they go to, particularly a charter school. And when you have, I think it's 75% that we found in 2019, 75% of African American male students in California did not read at grade level, we have a problem. And I hope that parents are tired of this and they stand up and say, we want to be able to choose for our kids. We deserve for our kids to have, a bright future and not be stuck in this failing school.
I certainly know my son struggled quite a bit, but then he met Dylan Ramirez, his teacher at his charter school, and I stand behind him as one of the primary reasons that my son actually graduated in August. So it's pretty interesting what is being taken away as far as choices for parents here in California. Senator Melendez, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Always a pleasure, Ginger. Thank you.